So in this video, we're going to be doing an overhaul on the STi suspension. We're going to be doing coilovers from Ohlins. We're going to be doing rear lower control arms, front lower control arms, as well as tie rods from COBB. So we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. So let's get to it. All right, so here is the old control arm and the new control arm. Pretty much the same, as you can see. The only difference is it looks like the newer one, the bushing is a lot bigger than the OEM one. And also right here is the main focus. We have this little notch right here versus just a hole that makes the camber adjustable. So that's a big one, especially when you're dropping your car on coilovers. Can't adjust camber otherwise, so having some camber adjustment here is going to be super useful. One side is done. Not too bad. Let's go to the other side. All right, so the rears are done. We got the rear lateral links, the rear control arms in there, and the Ohlins coilovers. It's looking really good. Alignment's definitely gonna be out of whack, so we're definitely gonna have to get an alignment, but obviously that's what you do after you touch any part of your suspension. So next, we gotta do the fronts. It's a lot of work to do, but let's get to it. All right, so here's the front suspension. Obviously, we're gonna be doing the Ohlins coilovers. We're also gonna be doing the COBB front roll center kit. We're just going to replace this outer tie rod here as well as the ball joint. Also, my sway bar and links in the front look pretty worn, so go ahead and replace those. And also the front lower control arm, we're going to upgrade these to the 2011 to 2014 STi. There were apparently improvements during those model years. Since these look a little bit cracked anyway, thought it'd be a good time to replace these as well. Alright, so I'm going to be trying to remove this outer tie rod first. There is 2 cotter pins on 2 castle nuts, I think here, and then I also did this one already on the lower control arm. Cotter pins were annoying, but they give us new ones, so you can kind of just mess those up without worrying about getting them replaced. So now we're going to try to separate this outer tie rod ball joint from the spindle. Going to be using this ball joint remover tool. You could rent this from Autoport's store. And yeah, let's see how this goes. Ow, but yeah, it worked. There it is. Look at the front end link that came out of the car. Completely trashed. Here's the new one, way beefier. Whew. All right, that was probably the hardest thing of this tire install and removal so far, is getting that ball joint out. But we got it out. A lot of good solid wax with piece of wood helped immensely. That's probably the only way to do it. There it is. Finally got it out, so let's keep going. All right, so here are the 2 control arms side by side. Obviously, that's the old one, and this is our new one from a 2011-2014 STi. I have a 2008 STi, and I really can't tell too much of a difference in terms of geometry. Like, I believe the arms are pretty much the same, but there's definitely a difference between the bushings here. For example, you can just kind of see what type of bushing this is, and this one is obviously different. Also, another difference is for the 2008, 2010 STIs, and also I believe the 11 to 14 WRXs are gonna have this stud basically going into the chassis that the control arm bolts into. This, you're no longer gonna use. Instead, you're gonna use this bolt. Yeah, but other than that, should be a straight swap. All right, we got the driver's side in, got my front roll center kit installed, got the new lower ball joints, we got our new lower control arm, and of course our Ohlins coilovers installed. Did have to sacrifice one coilover nut, it's somewhere in the engine bay, but we got a new shiny one from Home Depot, so should be good there. But yeah, driver's side is all done. Just gotta do the passenger side now. All right, so we just finished the install and I just got the car dropped down onto the floor, and I'm pretty proud of it. It was a lot of work changing out all the suspension stuff, and of course we ran into some issues with the passenger side coilover, but it looks great now. And the stance looks really, really, really good. The drop is, I think, supposed to be like a modest 0.8 inches, so not even a full inch drop, but this is what Ohlins recommends, and that's kind of like their standard spec. So that's kind of what I'm gonna keep. But it's great because obviously this car is gonna be driven on the street as well, so I think it's about 2-finger gap. Yep, just about. I think that'll be pretty good.